All right, well, welcome back. You'll notice changes. Notice that Rex
hold on.
was not satisfied.
I don't claim these changes at all. This is like 45% of what I wanted to do.
Rex was not satisfied with being taller than me in a chair.
No.
He wanted to make sure that we were standing to just really rub it in.
I wasn't satisfied sitting in your lap. We were so close. It was just weird.
It was because of the Brokeback joke,
the
wasn't
buffers,
it?
That didn't help.
Yeah.
We have the buffer zone now. So.
Okay, so today, because Rex was whining about it, we are going to move to Scottish whiskey.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
No, so,
Wait. Not just any Scottish whiskey.
Right. So we're not doing the distillery tour anymore?
No.
Okay.
No, we're going to do random whiskeys and come back and forth between regions and things. And this is Ardbeg.
Okay. I've heard of this.
Arguably one of the most recognizable and highly lauded Islay whiskeys.
I will be the judge of that. Very knowledgeable.
Oh, really?
Knowledgeable and experienced judge.
So, of course, if you're going to start with Ardbeg, you start with the Ardbeg 10 because it's sort of a classic.
Already, just opening the bottle, I can smell.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a whole nother animal.
Yeah, Ardbeg makes Lafroig seem subtle.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is, now, here's the thing I want you to look for.
Yeah.
Obviously, when people think Scotch, they think smoke.
Right, and here's the thing. It's not exactly smoke that I'm smelling.
No.
What is this?
Oil and phenol, which is based from the smoke, but it doesn't smell like a campfire. Lafroig smells more like a campfire. Ardbeg smells like the oil compounds that the smoke gives to whiskey.
Okay.
Which makes it a little bit lighter than in smoke, but still aggressive. I mean, it's a really high peat level. And by I see the question mark on your face.
Yeah, so peat.
Okay, so peat is not some guy at a bar.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Like this bar has this bar has a high level of peats.
I'm not sure I like
that
Pete
means there's
that
like
much.
5 guys in the bar named Pete.
Yeah, I need to like Pete a bit more before I'm comfortable with him in the glass.
So here's the thing. For those of you who don't know or need a refresher, like Rex here, peat is essentially moss. It's if you ever watch movies where they're based in the marshes and English marshes, or Hound of the Baskervilles, and these are all peat bogs.
Okay.
Essentially, what it is it's decomposing vegetation that is decomposing slower than it's accumulating.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's just sludge, right?
Yeah.
And moss and grass layer, and it accumulates at only about half, or actually it's 0.04 inches a year, which means an 8-foot peat bog could have taken up to 20,000 years to accumulate.
Do we know who the first person was to have this grand idea of, hey, let's take that sludge over there.
Yeah.
And let's mix it in with this.
Yes, actually, it was the Scots, as far as we know, because they were cutting it, laying it out to dry, and burning it for firewood. So the original solution wasn't, hey, we need to smoke this drink.
Yeah.
The original thing was, hey, we need to dry this barley, and the only way we can dry it is by burning something, and the only thing we burn out here is dried peat breaks.
Interesting.
And so that ended up with the default of, remember I said, and maybe you weren't here, but one of my favorite things about whiskey was the brilliance of these historical accidents becoming industry standard.
Yeah.
Right? So many of the things that we were like, this is how it should be. If you go back to find out how it happened, it was basically, oops. Or like, well, what else were we supposed to do?
Let's try that sludge stuff. Oh, that was weird.
Oh, that was weird.
That's kind of good.
Yeah. So they smoke dried the barley. Now this is 50 peat. Now I'm going to address one thing.
Yeah.
I'm never going to mention this ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Peat parts per million. Yeah, that sounds as nerdy as it is, and you can get online and people argue about the levels of ppm in a whiskey.
Right.
This is the ultimate nerd argument.
Right.
And it's worthless. All that matters is how it tastes.
At least you acknowledge the worthlessness.
Yes, yeah. So let's give it a try here. Now look at the fact that you do smell a lot of smoke and phenol.
Now, for some reason, I equate a very big flavor with a darker color, and this is not dark.
No. Which means no coloring added on these, right? Even though it's 10 years old, it's a refill cask because they're using bourbon casks on these.
That's an adventure.
Yeah. But notice that it still tastes kind of fresh.
It does.
Tasting.
Yeah.
I mean, as aggressive as those smoke notes
Well,
are.
it doesn't taste dirty and sludgy like I would expect from...
Right.
Yeah.
When I said you made this with mud. That's not what you expect to taste next. It's still going, though.
It does. No, it stays with
You guys just got to set it down for a second and just take a deep breath and breathe that in.
What you get from that initial smell.
Mm-hmm.
Once you taste it, that's exactly what I was expecting.
Oh, yeah.
With a bit of freshness. It doesn't go in like really weird, acidic, sour directions.
There's almost minty notes in there.
Not any more so than what you would smell.
Right.
So right
Lagavulin does this too. There's this like light minty ending. This one is even more so. So the Ardbeg 10, I love it because you get the aggressive, complex smoke flavors.
Yeah.
But then it's combined with this actually kind of light, fresh, almost like in the wine world, almost like a white wine.
Yeah.
Right? It's light and pretty.
Yeah.
But that's not what you think when you smell it.
That's interesting.
It's a weird combination. It comes from both ends of that spectrum.
No, it's as hardcore as you can expect to get from a Scotch, but there's a slight little hint of delicate freshness at the back end.
Yeah, it's like
behind.
It's like a man who stabs you through the heart with a sword, but he's holding his pinky out while he's doing it.
So good.
So trippy thing, Islay. Do you know Islay, which is the island this comes from in Scotland? Islay. Around 3,000 people.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Over 140 committees.
Okay.
It's a committee-heavy island.
Yeah, everybody has a friend or cousin on a committee.
Yeah, absolutely. I stumbled onto that fact. Ardbeg mentioned it, and I thought it was hilarious. There's an Ardbeg committee. You can get on the Ardbeg committee.
I was about to say...
You can join it.
I would be surprised if this was a result of a committee, because usually a committee is going to, make stuff very tame and neutral, but apparently they have enough sack over there.
Yeah. Well, they are Scottish.
Yes, they are. So well done. Yes. This is hurting me, and I love it.
To me, this has, and I'm going to throw in a term from a friend who maybe someday in one of these videos I'll mention his name, but he's coined this term that he describes good whiskey has a high boosh flavor vibe.
I've heard of this guy.
A high boosh.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. Yes. This whiskey has a lot of boosh.
Mm-hmm. He's an attractive man.
Yeah, he's a hottie.
Good. Okay. This is not a...
But see, you just keep wanting to go back to it because of that complex thing. It's so surrounded by those flowery notes.
Here's the thing. I do want to keep going back. It's kind of like, you ever go to a Mexican restaurant and you get salsa, and it's really hot salsa. And the moment you stop eating the salsa, it starts burning more. You have to go back to the salsa.
Yeah.
So, as I'm tasting it, right?
Same thing.
It's like, this is really nice.
That's a great comparison.
The moment I stop, it's like, this is less.
See, I would make it more of a salsa that, it has a perfect kick, and then you got to wait for it to wear off, and then as it wears off, you forgot how much it kicked, and so you go back to it.
Oh, okay. You just get hurt all over it.
Yeah.
It's like love in a glass.
Yeah. You heard it right here from Rex. It's love. Ardbeg is love in a glass.
Ardbeg 10 single malt Scotch whiskey.
Yep. Rock and roll. Classic expression. We'll talk more about Ardbeg next time we get back to it. Until then, may your crazy stay this side of legal, and may you return to us before we have time to miss you. Cheers.